Have you ever thought about playing with wild deer up close and personal? Not in a zoo, not from a distance, but up close and personal. Well, you can do that here in Japan. So I've been in Japan for the past couple of weeks. I've been staying in Osaka for the first part of my trip, and Osaka is such an awesome place. I'm just shocked at how much I like it here. There's so many things to do day and night in Osaka. It's almost like it never sleeps. And I've just been using that as a home base, doing some day trips to Hiroshima, and one of the last ones that I just did was to Nara. And Nara is famous. It's one of the original capitals of Japan, I believe, and it's also home to thousands of wild deer. And they've been there for a very long time, and they actually let you come close to them, right up to them, and feed them by hand. These are not extremely safe deer. They can hurt you, and I definitely got bit, and one almost knocked me over. But Nara is such an awesome place, really good food, and yeah, hope you enjoy checking out these deer, and maybe one day you can come out to Nara and do the same. Osaka is the third largest city in Japan, yet it doesn't feel crowded whatsoever. It's a really comfortable, quiet city with a lot to do, and the reason why I picked Osaka was it's also in close proximity to a lot of the world famous destinations like Kyoto and Hiroshima, and in this video we're going to be going to Nara. Heading to Nara from Osaka is really easy. It's going to take you under an hour, and the train systems are really smooth and efficient, so there's always going to be a train station nearby wherever you're staying in Osaka. I've always wanted to go to Nara. It's known to be a really quiet, peaceful place, and it used to be one of the capitals of Japan back in the day. After walking through these really quiet streets, it wasn't long until I ran into my first deer. Nara is known for having a deer park, but it's not like a petting zoo or anything like that. It's an actual population of wild deer that has been here for about 1,500 years. Now, these are wild animals. Over 100 people get seriously injured every single year at this park, so it's worth watching your back. These are aggressive wild animals if you don't pay enough attention. A lot of them are gathered at this specific location because you can buy these crackers and even sweet potatoes to feed these deer. So they come, they eat, and kind of become docile for a minute to convince you to give them some food. Now, I've seen deer before many times. I love the wilderness, I love the outdoors, but normally they just run away from you, and here it was kind of surreal knowing I wasn't in a petting zoo, but these deer did come right up to you, didn't seem to be scared of you. Even the babies, they just seemed to be there kind of expecting food, but they're also grazing on the grass, so it's not like they depend on the crackers to survive or anything like that. I walked a little further into Nara Park, and I wanted to see Todaiji. So this is one of the most popular shrines in this park, and it also used to be the capital of Japan back in the 8th century. As I kept going through the temple grounds, it became pretty apparent this was not a petting zoo. The deer were prolific, they were everywhere, and a lot of them didn't even want crackers. They just wanted to exist, they wanted to watch people and just mind their own business. It was a really surreal experience seeing that. One thing that I noticed about Japan while I've been traveling around is they really take care of their history. So this temple here is from the early 700s, and it looks like it's in perfect condition. And yes, they've been reconstructing different parts of it and keeping the paint and the wood as healthy as possible, but it's really apparent that this is just taken care of for being something that is almost 2,000 years old.
Right around midday, the crowd started piling in, and I noticed a lot of the deer were heading deeper into the park to get some quiet space, and I just wanted to follow them and see what I could find. As I walked around, I started to learn some more unique facts about these deer. So there's about 1,500 that are estimated to be in this park, and they're split into two separate groups. There's the lowland deer that forage the grass and eat crackers, kind of where I'm walking right now, and then there's another population of deer that lives higher up in the nearby mountains, and they're two distinct populations. They don't really intermingle, and they just have different preferences over what they eat and where they live. There's also a legend that helps put into perspective why the locals take so much good care of these deer. So part of this park is a portion of the Kasuga Taisha Shrine, and enshrined in this place is a deity that, based on their legend, says he rode into Nara on the back of a spirit deer, and ever since they built that shrine, they've revered these local deer and taken good care of them to the point where they all call it home. These deer were definitely different. I have run into wild deer before, and as soon as they see you, they run away or do something that reminds you that it's a wild animal, whereas here, for the most part, they're pretty docile. One thing I definitely recommend is when you're feeding these deer, try and single out one or two deer because they can really get a little overwhelming. These are really high energy deer, and if they want something, they'll come and get it, and sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. In these larger populations, there are some more alpha male type deer, and I was soon to find out that you got to make sure you know where they're at, because I almost got knocked into the ground and who knows what would have happened. But for the most part, the deer are female and they just get a little nosy, but the alpha males are the ones that you have to be careful for. At this point in late fall / early winter, the males drop their antlers, and sometimes it's a little hard to keep track of which is which, but the stubs on top of their heads help make it a little bit easier. But this guy here was definitely a bully. You can see him pushing other deer away, trying to eat all the crackers, and there's a couple times where he circled around behind me and just rammed my pockets trying to get my attention, but he's a little stronger than he thinks. I figured out that if I just keep backing up, the little baby deer would come ahead of the pack and I can give them crackers, because I just wanted to make sure this male didn't keep stealing everyone's crackers, and it worked out pretty well.
Alright, so I just found this crowd of deer right here, and I fed them all my crackers. This guy, this big guy, he ran up behind me and headbutted me, almost knocked me over. So you have to always keep your eye out. But he's mean. A lot of these other deers are nice. Like this one. And the cool thing that these deer do is they bow. And these are all wild deer. These are not trained, domesticated deer. They're wild, but they've been living here forever. Ow! He bit me. Don't bite me. Yeah, they follow you, headbutt you, bite you. Where is he? He's still following me like he's gonna bite me. This is so cool. These are all wild animals. I've seen them fighting, jumping. But they are wild, and when they want crackers, they come over to you and bow. I have no clue where they learned it. Maybe that's how they interact with each other, but they bow. Bowing deer. Look how cute they are. That's a wild deer.
Alright, I hope you enjoyed that experience. It's definitely a day trip you cannot miss. And now I'm headed down to a couple new spots, and I'm going to be posting some videos soon. I've been under the weather, so I've definitely slowed down a bit, but hope you enjoy. Next couple of videos are going to be awesome, and then I'm off to a couple other cities in Japan like Tokyo and Hokkaido.